Y'all, so our firstborn son got his first haircut for his 3rd birthday the other day. And my little mama heart can hardly take it. Like, time for big boy. I know. Some of y'all might be thinking, why did you cut off all that beautiful curly hair? Trust us, it was not an easy decision, but I have to share this crazy testimony and how God worked it all out and had a divine appointment that proved that he was in this haircut. So I want to encourage you, if you're a parent watching this and you're struggling with different decisions based on your child, whether it's a first haircut or whether to put them in school or what school to put them into, anything that might cause a little like anxiety and fear, to trust God and include him and pray and seek him so he can direct your path. Make sure you stay to the end because we're going to show a before and after picture of our son with his first haircut. We actually have fallen in love with it. So here's the backstory to this crazy divine appointment. So a couple months back, I had a dream that our oldest son had a haircut. His hair was curly at the top and shaved at the sides. And I was like, oh, that's cute. And I shared it with my husband. And so over time, we're like, you know what? Let's get him a haircut for his 3rd birthday. Now, if you've seen our son, one of the most noticeable traits about him is his beautiful curly hair that God has blessed him with. Everywhere we went, there was at least one person that would comment how much they loved his hair. It was pretty much like his identity. Now, one thing with that came with a lot of wrong gender labels. Like, they say, oh, your daughter's so beautiful. And I'm like, no, it's a boy, even though he had, blue clothes on or dinosaur clothes on. Side note. Why do all the boy clothes have dinosaurs on it? Can we get something else, please? Anyways, in the brand. Not to mention, wash days was a fight as his hair got longer and longer and more curlier. Like, it was a struggle trying to comb it out and detangle it. I got so many brushes, so many products, and it was just a fight, and it was just getting too much for him and for me. And so we, again, we were like, okay, maybe it's time for us to get a haircut for him. And even with that dream, it kind of confirmed it. Fast forward to July 4th, we were with some friends, and they had some friends over as well too. And their sons had the same haircut that I had saw in the dream. Me and my husband asked them, like, where do you take your sons to get their haircut? We were thinking about getting our son's first haircut soon. And so they gave us the contact information and all that. And the week leading up to our son's 3rd birthday, I asked my husband, like, hey, do you still have that contact information for the barbershop that gentleman took his sons? And so he got the information again. So I did what any mama would do. And I was, researching, looking at the Instagram page, looking at the website, looking, who's these barbers and whatnot. If you know barbershops, it's known for a certain culture, and you might have tatted up people and music blasting, rap music blasting and everything like that. I became a little uneasy. I'm like, Lord, like, is this the right place that we should take him? Because I really didn't want to expose him to this kind of environment. I continued to just kind of do some research and everything. And I saw another kiddie salon that was literally double the price. Like, this place was cute. It had all the little kids thing. They specialized in kids. And it was just a different atmosphere. But I was like, man, I ain't trying to pay them prices. $80 for a kid haircut. I was like, that ain't God. God's not in that. So I continued to just do research on the other barbershop, and I looked at the different people and looked at their appointments and stuff like that. And one guy, his price is a little bit better. And I looked at the Google reviews, the Yelp reviews, and everyone mentioned him, how, he was great with kids and whatnot. And so I was like, okay, I think if we go here, I want to use this guy. And so I called the barbershop, and I'm just asking him, like, hey, do y'all see 3-year-olds? This will be his first time, and he has really thick curly hair. Do y'all think y'all can like accommodate him? And they're like, yeah, we can help him. We have a lot of barbers here that can really, assist him. And so I asked the guy on the phone, and I was like, so who's the best person to cut a 3-year-old hair? And I was waiting for him to mention the same guy that I was looking at through the reviews. And he was like, oh no, anybody can do it. We have a lot of skilled barbers. And I was like, okay. And so I hang up. So that Wednesday, I call him again, being the mom that I am. And I'm like, saying, okay, I want to take my 3-year-old son here. Like, how is the best way to come? Like, does he need to have his hair freshly washed, detangled? Like, give me the scoop. This is my first time. And so he tells me, it's best to have it detangled. Asking me, like, should I make an appointment or should I just walk in? And he said, you can walk in, but we do recommend an appointment if you're able to. I hang up and I look online, and I was going to make an appointment, but like, you had to pay then and there. And I was like, man, I'm not trying to pay then and there, because if I back out on this, I don't want to lose out on money. I really wanted to go to get the haircut that day, but my husband said, let's just go tomorrow. And so I submitted in that area, even though I'm like, but the guy who I want to go, he's booked for tomorrow. And so I prayed to the Lord. I'm like, Lord, like, I'm still feeling like very anxious. I don't know if this is the right place to go. And like, we don't even have an appointment. The guy that I want to see, he's all booked. And so I just gave it to the Lord, and I just started praying like, Lord, I pray for favor tomorrow. I just pray that, you know, the person who does his hair will just be, you know, gentle, and the person that you want to cut his hair. And I just pray for the atmosphere, that he won't be exposed to anything. And I just literally released it to the Lord. The next morning, I called the shop again. They're probably like, who is this woman calling so much about this 3-year-old boy? Yes, I'm not mama. I just wanted to make sure he was straight. And I asked him, and I was like, you know, we're wanting to take our son today. Like, is it busy right now? We're thinking about just doing a walk-in. And like, no, we're not that busy. And then I asked if the gentleman was there that day. And he said he's not in yet. I don't know his schedule and whatnot. It kind of gave like, I ain't really trying to help you all that. Like, just come in here. We got plenty of barbers that can do your son's hair. And I was like, no, I want to see this guy. Okay. And so I told him, okay, we'll be there in a few minutes. And so me and my husband, we get the kids, and we're making it a family affair because we were going to record it. And just like, it was a big deal for us. Okay. So we get to the barbershop, and mind you, it got packed. There was about 8 people waiting to be seen, and every barber had like somebody in their chair. And one of the gentlemen that was at the front of the barbershop cutting somebody's hair, they said, hello, you know, how y'all doing? How can we help you? Do you have an appointment? And I said, no, we don't have an appointment, but I was the one that called about the 3-year-old son getting the first haircut. And I really want to see this particular barber. So he said, okay, well, he's in the back. You can just go to the back and talk with him. And in my mind, I'm like, what is talking gonna do about, like, I just need him to get a haircut? And so I was kind of confused. And so we were walking back to the back of the barber shop, and there was a gentleman that came from the back behind the walls, and he just kind of walked past us. And I'm like, you know, who is this person? I'm like trying to find this particular person. And they're like, he's right there. He's the one that just came out. And so this tall guy in a tank top, I'm not gonna call it that name that people tend to call it. I do not like that name, that term for it. But he comes out with, you know, the tank top on, and he has all these tattoos. And, you know, I say, you know, are you so-and-so? I heard that you were good with kids, and we really want you to cut our son's hair for the first time. As you can see, he has not had a haircut before. And so he looks at the hair, and he's like, all right, come on back. Let me see what I can do for y'all. He asked us what haircut he wants us to cut his hair, and I show him some pictures and whatnot, and he helps us, you know, kind of choose the best one. And he just puts him in the chair, and he's like, yeah, my 10 o'clock canceled, and so I can just squeeze you in. And so he like literally does not wait to just start. He's like cutting his hair. And I'm like, oh my goodness. And the thing is, our son did so good for his first haircut. We had no idea how he was going to act, whether he was going to be crying, screaming, hollering. And so the fact that we were in the back of the barbershop behind like these walls, it was like its own separate suite. And he's just cutting hair, and, you know, he's like, man, he's doing really good. And we just have small talk and whatnot, and asking different questions and things like that. And then he asked, like, how did you find out about us? And we're like, well, you know, a friend of ours who we go to church, he comes here, he takes his sons and whatnot. He recommended this place. He's like, oh, what church do you go to? And then we shared with him, and then his facial expression changes, and he like whispers to us. He's like, hey, I know you see all these tattoos and whatnot, but these are my scars. Like, Jesus Christ saved me, man. Like, you don't even understand my story, but he literally saved my life. And so this is my ministry. And then he opens his drawer at the bottom, and it's nothing but Bibles and tracts and of the gospel. And he said, this is why I'm back here. Like, I'm over here, like, witnessing to people. And I just asked the Lord, like, Lord, give me a divine appointment. Who can I minister to and whatnot? And so he's like, I'm on fire for the Lord. And we were so shocked. And then for that whole time, we were just talking about Jesus and different testimonies. And we just saw his extreme passion for the Lord. Like, he was not lukewarm. He was like, yeah, a lot of times people come in and they don't look like me. And I'm like, you know, I can't really relate to them and share their story and whatnot. And he's like, but I try and witness as much as I can and just share the love of God and the gospel and my testimony to just show people that God can change anything. And then he was like, you know, I don't play any crazy music back here. I just have this TV on, and it's either sports or the news. And he's like, I don't play anything crazy. Anyone wants music, I turn on Christian rap. And I was just like so amazed at the Lord. And I told him that, you know, I prayed, Lord, like, give us a divine appointment, give us favor. Whoever does his hair, like, Lord, just keep him safe and all that. And he was amazed that I even prayed that prayer. And like, here we are in the back, like away from all the other stuff that was going on. You couldn't even hear the music that was in the barbershop. This guy is literally saved, like on fire for the Lord, even though he was tatted up and all this stuff. He literally had a radical transformation. He even shared some of the things that God was convicting him, that he was like, I can't be a hypocrite here. Like, when I read the word, like, I have to obey the word. My husband and him connected, and we just plan on, you know, like meeting together again with his girlfriend, and just like fellowshipping and doing Bible studies and stuff like that. And it was just so amazing. Like, here I was literally stressed out. I was so stressed out. I was like, Lord, we don't have an appointment. I'm not trying to be here forever with my 2 kids and, like, you know, my baby's first haircut, like all these things. And I was like, I got you. Like, we literally didn't have an appointment and went straight to the back, away from everything else. Had the person that God kept highlighting, like, he was highlighted on the website. And I was like, man, I just feel like we need to go to this person. He did a great job, and our son didn't even cry the whole time. And he like loved his haircut. And we were just like, Lord, you are so good. We just knew that confirmed, like, God was in this haircut, even from the moment of him giving me the dream and just orchestrating everything. The 10 o'clock appointment canceled. Like, he was booked the entire day. We came at the perfect time to be able to be seen, because he could have grabbed somebody else, or the other person could have came. Like, it was literally like God, and it was such a divine appointment. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that he said he heard some lady keeps calling about a 3-year-old and wanted to see you, and he almost didn't take us, but that's just, again, God. So just some quick pointers from this. Like, if you're a parent, like, I know that you want to make the right decisions for your child, and whether it's something like a first haircut, whether it's, you know, going to dentist, whether it's to get vaccines or not, or whatever it may be, like, the Lord cares, and we can go to him. In his word, it says, Philippians 4:6-7, don't worry about anything. Instead, pray about everything. Tell God what you need and thank him for all that he has done. Then you will experience God's peace, which exceeds anything we can understand. His peace will guard your hearts and minds as you live in Christ Jesus. And so whatever it is, cast your anxieties to him and pray to him, and for him to give you peace, him to direct your steps. Just like it says in Proverbs 3:5-6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding, but in all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths. And lastly, just like I did with the researching everything and looking based off appearance, it says in John 7:24, do not judge according to appearance, but judge righteously. And so sometimes we can miss a divine appointment simply by looking at someone based on the outside and not knowing that there is a deeper transformation like God was doing in that barber. And so be led by the Spirit, trust the Lord, and he has you. And so, like I said, here's the before picture of our son, and here is the after. And as you can see, he loves his haircut. We love it too. I did wash his hair recently again, and there was no tears. And it was like 5 minutes as opposed to like 45 minutes with screaming. And so we just feel like it's a new season of his life. And as he's maturing as a 3-year-old, even though he's still a baby, like, we just saw a shift in how he carried himself and how he looks so much like a big boy. And yes, I miss his curls, and I miss just the innocence and the littleness of our son. But I'm also know that we made the right decision in cutting his hair, and that this divine appointment confirmed it. And like, God just wants to do so much more in our lives. It was so much bigger than just a haircut. Like, God was connecting believers in the body of Christ. And so yeah, I just wanted to share that, and hope you like this video. If you like this one, you probably like some of these. Y'all make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and we'll see you in the next video. Y'all be blessed.